And that was Stronger Than Me by Colin Heppell. Now, that comes from Hope in My Heart. What does that album, or how did you come up with that album and the song from it?
Well, that album, I think, as you can probably hear from that song, it's got very sort of harrowing songs on there. You know, it takes a lot of negative and bad things, but I hope you agree that it's uplifting in the end. You make it uplifting and positive. And I think that album's got a lot of songs like that on, whether it's, you know, rock, ballads, pop. They all follow the same sort of theme, you know. It's all about what we talked about earlier there, about connecting with people on an emotional level. And that song's obviously about experiencing the death, you know, people who are taken from us way too early, you know, and everybody, I think, can, you know, understand and relate to that. And I think the whole album is all about that, but as the title suggests, it's all about, you know, having the hope and the positivity to, you know, rise above it, I guess. And
right, exactly. You know, yeah, because you all have to keep going on. When we lose somebody, you have to keep going on and use it somehow in a positive way.
It is that way. I mean, it is that album's all about that. So it's not really, you know, a laugh a minute, that album, but it's a very, you know, powerful songs on there, and I guess that's why they all got to the semi-final.
You know. Yeah, well,
There you go.
that's a good thing because, as you said, you sing about people, what people have been through, and
Yes.
everybody's been through that. So, I have points in my life where I'll have a day where I feel like crying, and I don't even know
Yeah.
why, and so then I'll listen to a song like that, and I'll cry and I'll get it out of my system, and I'll get the message. You got to be positive, you got to keep going on, because the person you
Well,
lost wouldn't want you to sit there and cry every single day for them. They want you to go on
well,
and
there
live
you
a
go.
good life.
There you go. Have you heard the expression "hitting the nail on the head"? You've got it in one right there. That's exactly what the song is there for, and the whole album is the same, but obviously it's the musicality of it is different. It's not necessarily ballad like that was. Some of it are more upbeat, some of them are more slower, some of them are rock, some of them are pop.
Right.
Just whatever turn my hand to.
Well, you're good at what you do. That's what I can say. Now, how do you choose what songs go on an album? Is it just, what you've written at that time, or do you go back and look at other songs that you've written?
Yeah, I do. Well, I always write. I mean, I write and write and write constantly. And I always, I've got about over 200 now, I think. And I write not specifically for albums in a way, but what I do is I take about sort of 15, 16 songs, and I'll do like rough recordings of them just here at home, at home, and then I'll think, well, that one works for that one, and that one works for that one. You know what I mean? And it's like when one's finishing, I think, oh, that would work after that one, and I just juggle them around, and it works that way till I get about 45, 50 minutes worth of music, and then the ones that didn't quite fit into that plan, they don't make the album. Now, that's not saying they're the bad songs or the reject songs. It's just they weren't right for that specific time. I mean, I've got loads of songs like that. I could do another album worth of, reject songs. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking of doing one, and I was thinking of calling the album Rejects and just put, 10 or 12 of these songs out there, because I've got about, 20 odd of them. So I was thinking of doing that. I was thinking of putting about this album together and releasing that as well. So who knows? I might do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I think it's
watch
cute.
Watch out! 2014, the Reject album. It's on its way.
Yeah. I think that would be a perfect name for it too.
I was thinking, I don't know. It probably won't happen, but
you'll have to put a little write up about why you're calling it Reject, so everybody knows, that it's not you're not being rejected. The songs aren't being rejected or something, just to explain so they understand.
It could be some great marketing ploy, Rejects don't buy this album. It's full of rejects,
Yeah.
People might just buy it. You never know.
Yeah. And I'll bet your manager Melanie could come up with some good stuff for that.
She wouldn't like me releasing an attractive reject song, I can tell you now.
Yeah.
I've played her a couple, and she seemed to like them. But they're just like I said, they're not reject songs. They just didn't fit. They just didn't fit what I was trying to do.
The theme of the album.
Yeah. That's it, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you're writing a song, do you normally use an acoustic guitar to sing along with the words you're writing, or do you write the words and then pick up the guitar?
Oh, crikey. Here's how I write a song, really. I'll tell you how I write a song. I can just be walking around, or sitting in a bar, or anywhere, driving, anywhere, and I can get this tune in my head. I can be humming this tune. I'm thinking, oh, there's a tune. Now, who's that by? And I'm thinking, finally realized it's not by anybody. I've just made it up. so that the tune, in a sense, the tune does come first with me. So I always take that tune. I get home and I get the guitar, acoustic guitar, and then I get the tune down on the guitar, and then I kind of know where the words are going to fit. I don't necessarily know what the words are going to be at that time, but I know that's where they're going to go.
Okay.
And then the words kind of come on later. That's usually how it happens, but sometimes when I'm very fortunate. There's been a couple of songs, things like Poltergeist off the first album. There's a song called Take Me Home off the Dreams and Demons album, which is my third album, which I wrote in about 15, 20 minutes straight out, the whole thing. The whole thing, words, music, the whole thing all in one go. And sometimes that happens. You just get in this stream of consciousness where you just, whack the whole thing out in one go, and it works, and you don't go back and change anything.
Right.
But that's very rare that happens. Most of the time, I get the tune, and then, the words come later, and then the words tend to get switched around a little bit. But I do write quickly, I've got to do it all within, say, an hour, So when I get back from wherever I am with this tune in my head, I get the guitar and I get it down there and get the words together, and it all happens in about an hour, and then I can do a rough recording. And then once you've done that rough recording, you can hear things like solos or, little instrumental parts that can just, pockets of sound that you can just put things in, and that's how they get built up, into more than just, acoustic guitar singing song,
Right.
So they get built up that way, but they all always start with the foundation of acoustic guitar voice.
Okay, that makes sense to me. I mean, especially since you play that, and I think that most people that play the guitar will do that if they write songs of their own. Yeah,
I think it's the way. I think it's the way I do it. I think if I think about something or overthink something, it doesn't work. I always say you never force a song to work, because it just doesn't happen. I just go and walk around. I get the tune, and that's it. It's I think, was it Bob Dylan said, always carry a light bulb and the aliens will channel the song into the light bulb or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, that of course is daft, but in some respects, that's kind of what you do. You just walk around and this tune pops in your head. I know it doesn't come from anywhere, and then you put the words to it and you craft a song around it. But it's for me, it's got to be done quickly. Otherwise, you can force something and you can, push something to work, and it just doesn't. It just snaps,
Right. No, I understand that, because sometimes I write poetry, but if you asked me to sit down and write a poem, I'm not going to be able to do it. It just will pop in my head, and it'll just flow right out, and then like you do, I go back and I look at it, and and I change things if needed, and then that's it. I got to put it aside, because if I try working on it anymore, then I'm just stuck. It's almost like getting a writer's block.
No, that's exactly it. You say, I write it, then I mean, maybe a couple of days, I sleep on it, and come back to it a couple of days later, and if it still sounds good, then I'll work on it. And if it doesn't quite span or anything like that, then I just kind of not reject it. I just kind of push it to one side, and yes, I might come back to that at another time. And I've got hundreds of songs. I've got hundreds of songs like that too. Do
you? Okay, because I was going to ask you if you ever started to write a song but didn't finish it until like years later, when all of a sudden something popped up in your head.
Well, I write the songs, I finish them, but I don't quite think to what I want to, so I shelve them. And then I can come back to them, but I don't actually get to a point where I've got like say a verse and a chorus and then stop. No, I always tend to finish a song, because it's always got something. I've always got something to say,
Right.
I've always got something to put out there, what I want to get across. But sometimes in reflection, when you a couple of days later, you can go back to it and think, well, no, that was the alcohol talking, or that was just not right, that was rubbish. And those kind of get put to one side,
Yeah.
You're laughing, I think you know what I'm talking about.
I do. I mean, who doesn't? Anybody that's been out drinking, you kind of think or do something stupid that's weird, or
think,
Yeah.
That's when you think you're doing your best work, isn't it?
Right.
You come back after a few beers and think, I'm on this song, this sounds great. And in the morning, it's like, what was I thinking?
Yes.
But fortunately, I have the sense not to release those songs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so good. I think every listener out there can relate to that one for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're only human.
You're right.